to make sure that I'm constantly giving them very specific feedback, and to make sure that their understanding is there, because students generally tend to say, do you understand? They usually just sit on the carpet and nod their head. So by pointing them and calling them out to it, and asking certain students to summarize or to rephrase or to even restate a question, you're building in the accountability, and they start to listen more actively on the carpet. Like it's a difficult process getting that math talk in place. I mean, adults ourselves, we are very uncomfortable with disagreeing. So we had to practice a lot that it's acceptable to disagree, but it's how you disagree, and that you have reasons when you're disagreeing, and making the distinction between a question and a put down. Because some of the students in my class would ask a question. It was actually a put down couched like a question. So then we had to discuss, well, is that really a question? The whole point of a question when you're doing math talk, or even when you're consolidating, is it's to clarify, is to enhance the class's understanding. So if the whole point of your question is really just a put down, then is that really helping the class to learn as a whole? So we had a lot of those kind of discussions. So I have a number of success criteria that the students and I together collaborated on. So they're on the walls to remind them. When it comes to math talk, we've got the prompts like build on, wait time, disagree, and go beyond. One thing that they really struggled with was asking questions. They're not as effective at asking questions. Sometimes there's no purpose behind the question, so it's actually asking the question for question's sake. So we had a talk with them. So then I did an exit strategy. I had students work on the board after we had done a math talk session, and they couldn't leave the carpet until they actually asked a specific question that actually adds to the learning. As teachers, I think our natural inclination is to give them the answer. So in the past, that was one of the challenges for me this year, is that I'm not going to give them the answer. So it's question with a question. So I try very consciously to make an effort to make sure that I'm asking them a question, because if I give them the answer, they haven't learned it. Like if they figured out the answer for themselves, and they've learned it. So to make sure also that it's a little bit more independent, I have a set of open-ended questions that's embedded in all the smart notebooks. So even before they raise their hand and ask me a question, the expectation is that they're going to go, if they're stuck, they're going to go to those questions to guide them first before they come and ask me a question. So it's questions like, did you ask a group member? Did you reread the question? What information have you been given? What information would you need? What is the first step? What could be your next step? So those kind of scaffolding questions, so that actually I'm interfering less in the group discussion, and that they become more independent, and that they can take charge of their learning and actually go and take a look at the questions and monitor themselves.